What is up, guys? Welcome back to another deck profile. Let's get straight into it. This is an update to the Rezael deck that I've previously shown, like not too long ago. But not only is this supported with set 2, this is also with cards from the Festival collection. A lot of people call this deck the Hostage build. Now, I don't like giving any negative connotations to a deck, so I'm just gonna keep calling it the Risler. Let's get straight into the ride line. There has been a slight change, mainly the grade 1 that you can see right now. That's the one from the Alden line, that when he's rode upon, you can reveal 3 different grades from your hand. Then you can check the top 5, and you can call a grade 1. Preferably Surgown. Calling a crit trigger, preferably a crit trigger on the field isn't too bad in this case any longer. Would we prefer Surgown? 100%. If you don't find anything, you can just call him out just like the normal ride line counterpart. So grade 2 is still the same. When he's rode upon by Rezael, you can call a grade 2 or less from your drop onto the field. Once again, probably Surgown. And then of course we have Rezael himself. So if you haven't watched the other ones, I'll go over him once again. He has the divine skill that once you pay a soul blast, you can send back all of your critical triggers from your drop zone back into the deck. Then you gain triple drive for the turn, not the actual triple drive, drive +1. And for the rest of the game, you the player get the skill that if your 6 damage is a trigger, any trigger besides a heal, you don't lose, you just heal like normal. It's basically turning all your triggers into a heal if it's the final damage. If you check your OT on the 6 damage, not only do you remove the over trigger, you also still heal. So quite insane. His normal skill is when he attacks, you can counterblast 1 and call up to 2 units that equal the amount of damage that you have. So if you are at 5 damage, you can call a grade 2 and a grade 3. If you're at 2 damage, you can call a grade 2 and a grade 0. If you're at 3 damage, you can call a grade 2 and a grade 1, but they have to be different grades. So that's our ride line. Now, there's been a slight change here as well. As you can see, Sajas has been removed from the deck in favor for Liela Morta. You could ride into her if you so desired, but she's not here to be ridden into, especially because after you've used the divine skill for Rezael, you can no longer ride into anything except for Rezael. Now her skill is when she's placed on the Guardian Circle, you can discard a card and put 2 cards from your bind zone back into the bottom of the deck to choose a faded one and basically perfect guard it. That's her entire skill. That's why she's in this deck. The other skills are neat, but you won't use them, so we'll not go over them in this list. Lastly, you're running 1 copy of Gigantic Smasher. He's your beat stick, so as soon as he's in the drop, he's ready to go. And of course, 3 copies of your Persona Ride. We're gonna go over our grade 2 package first. Of course, we're still running Tatefall. Our order package is still here, yet slightly diminished. But if we don't get the order combo off, she's still good as a 20k beat stick on her own in the late game. Biscotti for your early draw and early energy management. But we have something else to manage our energy now, Nilbirths. When he's called out by the ability of Rezael, he gains +10k, so he fills the role of Tatefall in that regard. But after he's attacked, you can put him into Soul and Energy Blast 3, you draw a card and then you can check the top card and put it to top or bottom. Meaning if you do this at the end of your turn, you can check if you are going to see a defensive. You can see it before you attack, if you so desire. But mainly, he kind of fills in the slot that Sajas now is no longer needed for. So pretty good attacker, a definite, great addition to the deck. So yeah, for the rest, not many changes. I'm just glad that we can have a non-2-2 split at this point. Next up for our grade 1s, of course, we're running Surgown at 4 copies. He's literally the best card for this deck. You can reuse him whenever you want. So why not run him at 4? So you can see him early game, so you can get them set up. Whichever one you want, you can see him from the top deck calls. So we want to see Surgown, so we can check the top 2 cards after we've attacked. As long as we have more units or played an order this turn, which will usually happen. So we're lucky on that regard. He gains plus 5k for the attack that he boosted, so that's a 13k booster. And of course, you check the top 2 cards, put one into hand, the other goes to bottom. Great for setup. We are running 1 copy of Topaz. We can use it both defensively and offensively. It's a 20k shield if you use it defensively, and otherwise it's a top 5 check. So it's a flex slot. You can put whatever you want there. 3 normal PGs. And of course we have the Rezael dedicated booster, which a lot of people this weekend have been saying he is the worst. Yes, he does not get his plus 2k for free. He is locked behind that discard. But we do get a counter charge, so that's something other units, other faded ones are sometimes clamoring for, so you win some, you lose some. Now for our order package, yes, it is quite diminished. So if you wanted to exchange the Topaz for an additional Wisdom, you could, but I felt like this worked pretty well. So 1 Elementaria Sanctitude, I mean, why wouldn't you run one? 2 of the new Hymn, that's the Hymn of Mercy. So 3 nations got this in the Festival Collection. Basically, when you set it, it's a set order. Once per turn, you can intercept with something on your field. And if you're playing Rezael, of course, the card that you'll be putting there is your Perfect Guard. Now you lose those Perfect Guards because they go to the bind zone after you've guarded with them. But then there's the Ella Morta. So basically you're running 9 Perfect Guards in your deck and you draw enough, so why not? And of course we're still running the 2 Wisdoms, so we can have Tatefall up and running, and we can draw extra, so why not? So yeah, it's a slightly smaller package than before, but it's very annoying to deal with. Now for our trigger lineup, we are running the 8 crits because we're playing Rezael. Of course you want to play 8 crits. 3 draws. I want to have a hand that's, capable of sustaining it. Will you deck out faster? Yes. But, once you use that Divine Skill in the late game, you'll be putting back 8 crit triggers, and then you'll be happy that your deck will be that empty. 4 heal triggers, of course. And the Amartinoa, I'm personally running it basically because it's an SP. You could run the blue OT, you could run the yellow OT, although I think that's the least one that you would run. Purple OT is also pretty good, but yeah, this is just purely me flexing the fact that I have a full SP lineup of counter triggers. So yeah, the OT is which one you want. So now this is just an idealized field state, but in any case, you can basically get the gist of it. You're on your first grade 3 turn. Last turn you set up the Sanctus. You have your Tatefall on the field. Your opponent might be grade 3 or not. You have enough units to make her a 10k, so whichever one you prefer, that's fine. You have your booster. You can make pretty decent columns. I currently made the drop zone empty, but there will be more cards in there. The basic gist of it is that you attack with your Nilbris column, set up whichever one you want. You always have Surgon activate first, so you can check the top 2, put the card that you want in your hand, the other one goes to bottom, then use Nilbris to draw one, and then check the top card. I mean, you could change it up, but I feel like that's the safer way of digging through your deck. After you've attacked with that column, you could either, counterblast 1, call out a new grade 2 or grade 1, but the one you definitely call out is this PG in this column with the new grade 2 that you have in front of you. So it's your opponent's turn. You have a nice little field there still. The Nilbris will probably be in your soul at this point, so we'll just get rid of this boy. Basically, your opponent attacks for maybe an attack that's 2 or 3 crit. You just activate the Sanctus right here and put this nice little PG right up into the front. Move it a bit back. And it goes to the bind zone. Now then you use the Ella Morta, and if you already have 2 PGs in there, you can just send them back to the bottom of the deck. And eventually they'll come back out, so don't worry about that. But that's a short little combo about it, just to explain how it works. That's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay radiant. Bye-bye.